Grab a Fanta and snort the devil's dust because it's episode 8 of American Horror Story Apocalypse, and this one has an angel in a diaper. Michael is back from his walk in the wilderness only to uncover the extra crispy corpses of Ariel, Baldwin, and Mama Satan.
Extra crispy.
And this is just... ew, no. But Michael seems to know that's the charred remains of his mom, experience a flashback of her with that creepy smile as she's being burned. He lets out a Satan scream before being confronted by Cordelia, who tells him it's all over. All his allies are dead. He defiantly tells her that he'll just bring her back from the depths of hell, but Cordelia's one step ahead, having placed a spell on her soul that only she can break. This explains why Meade was a robot in the first few episodes, since Michael couldn't bring her back. He had to do the next best thing, reconstruct her from scratch. We'll get to that near the end of the episode. She tries to tell him he doesn't have to follow his father Satan, he can make his own destiny, but my guess is that he's not going to be too receptive to the woman who just killed the most important person in his life. She asks him to come with her, to find his humanity. Taking her hand, he brings her in close, pledging he'll bring Meade back and kill every last witch. Now, I'm not sure why Cordelia doesn't just kill him right here, but hey, what do I know? Maybe she isn't powerful enough, seeing how her powers are waning. With no one left but his father down below, Michael creates a pentagram in the forest, asking him what to do. Whereas in the beginning he was scared of his powers, he's now embraced them, ready to go full evil, ready to die for his father. He just needs guidance. As if things couldn't get any worse, after 4 days alone, he's offered a grape Fanta by a spooky forest child. He hallucinates visions of grape Fanta and his mother haunting him. That's before he's told by Anton LaVey he's perfect. Seething with rage, Michael attacks, but Anton turns into an angel who then disappears, replaced by a goat who he brutally mutilates, and snakes come out of it. And that is why we don't drink Fanta. Frustrated and alone, Michael enters a rundown building with an upside-down cross. We've seen this symbol before in Mama Meade's car before she picks up the sacrificial woman. Inside, the congregation is berated by its leader, Hannah. They've been slacking on making sins, and if they're gonna pave the way for the arrival of the Antichrist, they gotta pick it up. She tells them to go out and inspire her, as an offering plate is passed around. Michael meets Madeline, who offers to make him something to eat. 4 days in the wilderness with nothing but Fanta can really take a toll on you. She's seen kids like him before, seduced by the free donuts at check-in. Michael tells his story about how his father abandoned him. In this particular instance, he's referring to Ben Harmon, who, for a brief time, became his father, then abandoned him. Then telling her his mother tried to kill him, this time referring to Vivian Harmon, who, as a ghost, tried to kill him. Humanity is shit, and no wonder Michael holds a grudge against it. She sees in Michael the future of Satanism. They need people like him to spread the word of Lucifer, because once you realize we're all degenerate, rotten people, you become free. Satanism is about giving into your urges, embracing sin and your true nature. We learn Madeline sold her soul to the devil and in return got a lazy boy and premium cable. Let's not forget Brad Pitt and Ryan Reynolds. But Satanism is much more than just carnal pleasure. They have to prepare for their savior, the spawn of Satan. If things are terrible enough on Earth, he can finally rise. But Michael is disillusioned with her talk, telling her she's waiting in vain, and when he tells her he's the one she's waiting for, she puts a knife to his throat and threatens to kill him for being a blasphemer. It's only when he reveals the 666 mark of the beast does she bow down to him and hail Satan. And then we're treated to the best church choir I've ever heard performing Karl Orff's Carmina Burana, a piece written as a complaint against Fortuna, the inexorable fate that rules both gods and mortals in Roman and Greek mythology. Some of the translations here include how fate crushes the brave and all will soon weep. Michael is rushed to the church where Hannah is undergoing a good old-fashioned human sacrifice, the victims of which are people who have done nothing but good in their lives. Those are the sacrifices Satan loves the most. The honor of today's sacrifice goes to Phil, who was a former employee of Gawker. If you remember, Gawker was put out of business when they decided to release Hulk Hogan's sex tape and was fined $140 million.
I'm just worried about where we're going from here.
Phil is ready to pledge his soul to Satan, about to kill when Madeline interrupts, saying the honor should go to Michael. He reveals the mark to Hannah, proclaiming that he is indeed the one, and they all bow in reverence. He's given the knife to finish the deed, and in one fell swoop cuts both their throats as the congregation cheers. Michael is finally beginning to find his place. At the church, Michael is given a meal fit for the spawn of Satan, macaroni salad and turkey meatballs. Madeline shoos the others away and says it would be an honor watching him eat. She asks him what's next, but he's not sure. Being the spawn of Satan didn't exactly come with an instruction manual. She gives him a pep talk saying there must be a way to get Mead back. On their way down the coast, Madeline tells him about a secret network of people who have sold their souls. Wherever they're going, it seems some powerful people or person is at the top. As she drops him off, she has a heartwarming farewell in which she asks to burn for eternity in service. Aww. She mentions wanting to be stationed in the lowest circle of hell, which is a reference to Dante's Inferno, in which the poet describes hell being structured into 9 circles. Billy Eichner, who, by the way, is listed as being called Mutt, and Evan Peters, listed as Jeff, snort some cocaine and don their best Planet of the Apes haircuts when we see their robot engineers. Engineers for robots which serve a specific kind of purpose. Then it goes hardcore mode, or, as I like to call it, a Friday night, and the boys try to get to the bottom of it. Billy calls for, holy crap, Miss Venable. I enjoy how this season is starting to put all the parts together, and I don't mean the robotic ones. She still has that steely don't fuck with me glare.
I am HR, bitch.
Venable interrupts the two gentlemen with the most obnoxious bowl of cocaine known to man. They gush how they wouldn't survive without her. I mean, she did send a pile of shit to Mark Zuckerberg. She tells them Michael arrives and chastises them.
Don't ever call me babe.
And then there's more cocaine. Jeff and Mutt welcome Michael, proclaiming that they thought he'd look more like The Rock. I mean, it almost becomes like a roast for them. How are they supposed to know he's the Antichrist? He then shows his mark, but goes one step further, lighting in flames blowjob lady.
Extra crispy.
Appeased that he is the real deal, they enjoy a nice sushi meal. Why work as a slave when you can have everything you want as long as you sell your soul to the devil? They pledge their servitude to Michael, wishing the fiery end of Earth, asking him what they can do to make it happen. Michael passes them a photo of Mead, wanting them to bring her back. He came to the right place. Jeff and Mutt get hard to work. Only perfection is deserved for the spawn of Satan. So what do? Make her Mossad. If you remember earlier in the season, the memory of young Mead as a Mossad agent on Halloween disposing of a bad guy. That was all implanted by these two coked up fiends. Michael is amazed by their work. They tell him not to mention to her that she's a robot. It could send her in an existential crisis. Hence why Mead didn't know she was a robot until she was shot in the bunker. She awakens and instantly remembers him. Now that they're together, he can begin his revenge against the witches. But how exactly does Mead wind up in that bunker with them? Was it all a plan to keep tabs on the witches he knew were going to be there? We'll just have to keep staying tuned to find out. Thanks for giving this video a watch. As always, please give the video a like, and if you haven't subscribed yet, what are you waiting for, you dummy? I'll be back next week for episode 9 and more videos in between, so stay tuned. And don't you forget, Daddy loves you very much.